friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back with a video. It's a Q&A video. I guess, yeah, you could call it a Q&A, man. So I've been talking to somebody on the in the comment section, from my community in the community section. I posted some info in my community section recently. I don't know, yesterday. Thought people might be interested, maybe have a read or whatever. It's mostly about eccentric and damage and things like that, unaccustomed exercises. If you notice in each one that I wrote here, the reason why I'm popping these up is because I was already talking about them previously, but notice how they always tell you it's acute, high intensity, unaccustomed eccentric exercise performed by naive subjects is accompanied by disturbances in muscle what? Damage biomarkers. They never say trained people get damaged. There's a reason why trained people don't get damaged. You may not understand how nature works. There's a reason for everything. Now, you want to build muscle in the gym. Now, there are more than one way to build muscle. You can mass up the myofibulars. You can mass them up, okay, when protein synthesis exceeds breakdown. That's one way of getting muscles bigger. There's another way. You can eat a lot of carbohydrates and they can blow up through sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, a type of artificial muscle growth. Okay. Then there's another way. In science, they already said this. I'm not going to bring this up. It's in my community section. It explains to you. It says hyperplasia, okay? When the progenitor donates nuclei, so forth and so on, and it creates myotubes and a bunch of stuff. When muscle is damaged, you can build new myofibulars, and I can prove it. That's the point. That's the reason why I'm making this video, to explain something to somebody. But I'm going to make a wide video on it. So this person here, a Deepin2nature. So you basically means take longer off to rest to become unaccustomed instead of training frequently all the time. To get what? To get damaged, right? Okay. You're interested in damaging muscle fibers, so, which is very difficult. It's associated with an adaptation. So what did I write to you? I wrote to you, no, they're saying you get a new adaptation, muscle damage, when you do an exercise you're unaccustomed to. Yes, that's what they're saying. Then the repeated bout effect, protective effect against more muscle damage from happening kicks in. That's right. Okay. There's reasons they come up with all kinds of explanations why the repeated bout effect kicks in. It's an adaptation process. It damage repairs and remodels and creates new muscle fibers to protect muscle from becoming damaged from growing any more muscle. That's what the repeated bout effect really is, okay? So I wrote you, I said, training frequently, you're adapted. Zero adaptations, damage, which is damage. There's zero adaptations, there's no more damage. That doesn't mean you can't mass up myofibulars. Protein synthesis exceeds breakdown. That's how they mass up. Okay, that's another way. But here's the problem with massing up myofibulars. They shrink. They can shrink. That's the problem. Now, if you build new myofibulars, they're yours. You have them. You keep them. They're yours. You can have them. They're especially great to build. It's especially great to get as many adaptations as you can when you're a young person, because these nuclei are permanent. And so are the muscle fibers that you gain in an adaptation. They are permanent. Now, can they shrink and get bigger and smaller? Yes, they can. They can get bigger and they can get smaller too. See what I mean? That could be a problem. That's why I used to laugh at my old videos. I used to say gravitational loading and unloading, loading and unloading. People are loading and unloading all the time. They're never exceeding, here's the thing, they're never exceeding that breakdown. You know what I mean? They're trying, they're not. They just don't understand the process of lifting. They think that going to a gym, lifting a weight is building a muscle. That's not how it works, man. And then they go eat a bunch of pasta. They think that pasta will build muscle. Pasta, fake food, does not build muscle. They are very specific. When they say protein, they mean animal protein exceeds breakdown, your natural diet. Okay. Anyway, so then I wrote you here, it says it means you aren't building any more new myofibulars through what? Damaging fibers. That's what it means. Okay. You all call it newbie gain limit. Science calls it MND size limit. MND size has a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process. beyond which extra myonuclei are donated by satellite cell to what? To support further muscle growth. Okay. So how do you get over that? It's really easy. Since then, multiple studies demonstrated that the cell cycle and given rise to proliferation myoblasts, myogenic progenitor cells that are able to differentiate and fuse to form what? Multinucleated myotubes, then eventually mature into myotubes or myofibers. That's when they get damaged. You understand me? When muscles get down, I should write that down there. I don't know. When muscles do get damaged. Just so this guy doesn't get confused. It's complicated, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it is complicated. For some people, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he'll get it. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's the MND size limit right there. So I didn't make it up, okay? And this is a section when you type, does muscle damage cause the satellite cell to donate? It should be donate, man. I don't know why it says generate. Fuck. But anyways, okay, so since then, multiple studies demonstrated that the following muscle injury, here it is. Man, I think I cut that shit. I didn't put the whole thing in his, yeah, that was the problem, okay. So since multiple studies demonstrate that the following muscle injury satellite cells enter the cell cycle and give rise to proliferating myoblasts, myogenic. So what do you need to do? You need to cause muscle injury, okay? Muscle injury is what caused the satellite cells to enter cell cycle, because it says that it's beyond where it could donate its nuclei to support further muscle growth. Okay, so what do you need to do to support further muscle growth? Well, the following muscle injury, satellite cells enter cell cycle. So it demonstrates that the following what? Muscles need to be injured. Then the satellite cells enter the cell cycle and give rise to what? Proliferating myoblasts, myogenic precursors that are able to differentiate and fuse to form what? Multinucleated myotubes that eventually mature to what? Myofibers. You understand me, man? That's how you get over it. You have to injure those fibers. If you don't forget it, you're just wasting your time. Like I said, I think man. Fuck, man. This guy's probably reading this and not understanding it. I'll just fucking put another one down here. I don't know. He can read this. Paste. There you go. You got to injure those fibers, dude, okay? Anyways, I hope that helped, man. I'll see you in the next one. You might want to check out my community section. I have several things here. It tells you here, high intensity unaccustomed eccentric exercise contraction results in weakness and power loss because of what? Fatigue of what? Muscle damage. Makes you weak, okay? Lifting really makes you weak. Does make you weak. Lifting makes people weak. Unfamiliar, predominantly eccentric exercise frequently results in what? Muscle damage. Again, you see that? They never say trained people. And when they refer to trained people, they refer to them as sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Here's another one. High intensity unaccustomed exercise performed, which I just read. And this one talks about, this is something else. You can read that. It's a crippling thing. The repeated bout effect characterizes a protective adaptation after a single bout of unaccustomed exercise that induces muscle damage. See, there you go, the protective effect, okay? They always talk about unaccustomed. Exercise-induced muscle damage, and it occurs primarily when the performance of what? Unaccustomed exercise, and it is severely and modulated by the type of intensity, duration, and training. It is modulated by the type of intensity, duration, and training. Okay, dude? It's not hard to understand. This isn't rocket science, man. Get it, dude? They even tell you here about forming new muscle fibers. They tell you, in the circumstances that the role of satellite cell in muscle repair is initiative, since the reconstruction of large portions of muscle fibers, or the formation of entirely new muscle fibers necessitates them. It only necessitates the body to create new muscle fibers when they get damaged. If they ain't getting damaged, like injured, then they are not going to grow new muscle fibers. Okay, dude? And here's the thing. In order for you to bypass the newbie gain phase, you need to get new muscle fibers because they're not getting any bigger. They reached an MND size limit. You understand me, man? You need new fibers and then they get messed up. That's why at some point when I was a lifter, I realized, hey, I reached a limit, an MND size limit. So somehow I figured it out. I started doing full body workouts, and then I got this damage to come back. And then I would run down to the buffet and eat to mass up those myofibers. Plus, it would go through a repair and a remodeling that entire week. So there was a donation of these nuclei by the satellite cell, and the satellite cell would repair and remodel these muscle fibers, new muscle fibers, and then they would get masked up when protein synthesis exceeded breakdown. So I would be like that for months at a time. I would always be in a positive nitrogen balance, anabolic, and protein synthesis would always exceed that breakdown. I would never be hungry, never. I was always constantly full, even waking up in the morning. And I would just down protein like crazy throughout the day. Man, I ate everywhere, wherever I could, and I ate for hours. So, yeah, the process itself is complicated, it's difficult. The process has to be ongoing for quite a long time. It can't be just here and there, sporadically, once in a while. If you're trying to build real muscle, it can't be sporadic. It can't be, I'm trying to get my biceps bigger and all this kind of stuff. It has to happen in unison. It's very specific. The rep set scheme is usually always 5 times 10, and it has to always be a full body workout, and it can only happen once a week. Okay, dude? So, yeah. And it's an overworking of that muscle. But it'll only ever damage if the muscles are repaired and remodeled. If they're not repaired and remodeled, they're still protected by repeated butt effect phenomena. You understand me? They are protected from further assaults. They'll move into type 1 stuff, slow twitch muscle fibers. They pretty much sit in there a long time, even when you're adapted, moving around the gym, because you're just not putting effort into it to try damaging the muscle fibers again, because you associate DOMS with something being bad. But DOMS is associated with new muscle fibers being built. Now, depending on how much damage you get, and usually it's the 4-day damage session. It's the 4 days that it feels damaged. That's when you know you've really hit it. That's why they say here at the top, it says the degree of muscle fiber degeneration and necrosis. They talk about damage. See that? They say but muscle damage is specifically apparent with mechanical loading used to induce hypertrophy in both rodents and humans. The mature and magnitude of the damage response to muscle contractions is complex. It is complex and may involve a degree of muscle fiber degeneration and necrosis. Remember, when you're going to a gym, you're always shrinking. In muscle damage, there's a degeneration and necrosis. Now, people that are adapted, well, they're always shrinking in the gym. You're always shrinking, but your job is to try to get bigger, right? Me personally, I was always seeking the permanent stuff, but you guys are always seeking the instant stuff. Atrophying and loading and unloading, atrophying, hypering and atrophying. I'm not into that, dude. Okay, and so then they tell you that provokes satellite cell activity and regeneration. See, it provokes it. The muscle damage provokes what? Degeneration, necrosis, and it provokes satellite cell activation and regeneration. Yeah, and it gives you more muscle fibers. Get it, broski? Anyways, you can check this out. It's community section. Oh, this kid's quite interesting too. The 13-year-old, he's on his way. It's gonna be an interesting journey to watch this kid grow up and see where he gets to. I can't wait to see him next year when he's 14. Interesting. Those are the best years to grow. His domain hasn't even shut off. It shuts off at 15. The amount of muscle fibers he can grow, they will stop at 50. That MND size limit stops at 50. Now, can he increase it by damaging? Yeah. I don't know if he's getting damaged. He definitely got lifting at 13. He definitely got an adaptation. That's why he looks a little bit big, a little bit big. But now, if he doesn't know how to bring back this damage and he's adapted, then he's not growing anymore. The best he could do is mass up the myofibrillars, but he can't build any more new myofibrillars like it says here, entirely new muscle fibers. He can't build them, the formation of new ones. He can't build them without what? Degeneration, necrosis, and muscle damage, satellite cell activity, regeneration. Recent example of extreme muscle damage with exercise in humans was provided by Mackey and Kaiser, where very high volumes of eccentric weightlifting elicited a bona fide regenerative response. That's what you want to do, dude. Get it? In this circumstance, the role of satellite cells in muscle repair is initiative, since the reconstruction of large portions of muscle fibers. That's what we really want. But none of you want that. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, my friends. You tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next one.